I want you to become aware of the words you use in your daily lives, the quality of life they create for you, and the impact they make on others, either lifting their moods into peace and joy or leaving them depressed and depleted. This is a most important exercise we are going to do. I want you to make note of when the words begin to lighten your mood and lift you onto a higher plane of peace and happiness. And this is most important because unless you do it, you will continue to read or listen to things about consciousness forever, but you will never reach a deep understanding how it is the basic energy of your existence, of matter, your body and environment, your life events, your moods, and your spiritual aspirations. You will not begin to realize that consciousness is the be all and everything in your existence and experience until you notice how ideas and opinions can either raise or lower the frequencies of your consciousness. So I want you to pay attention here. I'm going to tell you a little story. So last night, I went for supper, and the food was not good. And the service was horrendous. And even the decor in the restaurant was, gross. I could have made it so much better than what it was. It was detestable. And leaving that restaurant made me want to tell everyone, do not go, do not eat there. That place is awful and you will have a terrible experience. Now, I went for supper last night, and the food was amazing. Oh, it was amazing. And the food was beautiful and fresh and flavored up so wonderfully. And these wait staff in there were so friendly and welcoming. And as soon as you walked in the door, they were the most pleasant and wonderful people. And it was beautiful. It had this really nice light ambiance to it. And I left there feeling amazing. I didn't eat too much. I ate the exact right amount. They gave the perfect amount of food, and I left feeling even more energized than when I arrived. Okay, so obviously both of these stories are not actually true. These are examples. Notice how one felt versus how the other felt. Now, have you ever been the person telling the first story? What do you think that was doing to your listener? Do you want to be the person who lowers people's moods, leaving them depressed and depleted? Or do you want to be the one who tells the second story, who lifts their moods into peace and joy and excitement and happiness? So do you understand what I mean? Obviously you do, of how moods can truly determine the frequency, the vibration that you're emitting. And you'll notice how that first story that I told, where I was just complaining and criticizing and condemning, not only did it not lift your mood, but depending on how you were feeling before I started saying it, it actually lowered the frequency that you had in your body. It lowered that vibration. Whereas the second story lifted it up. Now, why would we want to tell a story like the first one? People get addicted to these bad habits. But what it really is that they do not know what they are doing to themselves. So if you're one of those people that tells that first story, you're going to have many more stories like that to tell. Whereas if you're the person who tells the second story, you're going to have many more of those good stories to tell, because your frequency, the vibration that you're putting out, will attract those wonderful things to you. You can see this if you've ever read a review. You know, maybe you're going to book a vacation, or you're looking at a vacation rental property, or something like this. And you're reading the reviews, and let's say so many of them are really, really good, but then you might come across some that are not. What happens when you read those ones that are not? Well, first of all, they make you, they first of all take away all the goodness that you had just heard in the other reviews of like, oh man, this place is going to be sweet, it's going to be awesome, and then all of a sudden you read one that's not good, and it's like, oh, ooh, listen to this, ooh, this isn't good, and immediately takes your mood down. Now, I know from going on vacation that I was at this wonderful place, and I remember walking by this dude, and he was like, "This is the worst place I've ever been to, blah, 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 blah," and like, spouting off. And I'm like, man, he's the problem. This place is not the problem. He's the problem. And this is typically the case. It really depends on your state of mind, the mood that you're in, as to how your experiences go. So have you ever, because this has happened to me, so this is my example, maybe it only happens to me, but if ever you were like, let's say in a hurry or frustrated or like, oh, we gotta go, and you're all stressed out, like you gotta get out the door, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you get into your car and you go to pull your seatbelt, but you're pulling it so fast it just keeps getting stuck, which adds to the frustration and the stress that you have. Have you ever had that? That is a perfect example of what I am talking about, of that electromagnetism, that what you put out, you get it back, and you get it back right away. You get it back right away. It affects you. So you cannot escape the vibrational frequency that you are putting out. And so once you realize that consciousness is the be-all and everything in your experience and existence, it will change your life. You will realize the importance of not reiterating those stories that lower consciousness. Not only because you don't want to depress and deplete all of the people around you, although that's a good enough reason, but because as you retell these stories, or as maybe you tell them for the first time, your words are so powerful. The spoken word, it goes out, it imbues all of this empty space, right? Scientists call this space because they don't know what it is. If you were to wave your hand around in all this air, all this empty space here, it is space. And it is made of the same thing that you are made of. We are made of energy. Our consciousness is that energy. And so when you reiterate a story, something that is negative, you are creating. You are causing creation to be formed and created in the vibration of the story that you are telling. And this is a problem because if you don't like, which I'm assuming you don't like that thing because you were criticizing and complaining about it, if you don't like that thing, when you retell it, you are guaranteeing yourself more of it. You are planting consciousness seeds out into the future in front of you. And they will be returned. They will be returned to you through magnetism, through your electrical thoughts, which are returned to you through magnetism. This is the process of electromagnetism. And when it presents itself to you, you'll think, oh, I don't like that, which was the exact form that you initially sent it out in. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, and look, you get more things to I don't like. This is a problem. Now, why is this a problem? There's two reasons. Because you're essentially creating these bad things in your life that you don't want. But it's not only this. If you are exposing other people in your environment, or you are affecting your own environment with these words, with these, despair and deprivation and low, depressed and depleted feelings, you're not just doing these bad things to yourself. But if you come into contact with somebody and you immediately depress their mood, you have karma to pay for that as well. And so then let's say you've done this to somebody. Oh, you zapped the joy because you felt the need to complain or criticize something. Whatever, seems like no big deal at the time. You don't care because you're just telling your story. Well, what happens, several weeks or months later when you're like in the best mood ever, and then you call your friend, and then all they want to do is complain. And you get off the phone and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have called them. You called them feeling fabulous, amazing, full of joy and peace, and you left feeling depressed and depleted. And then you will think, why did this person do this to me? When in fact, it was yourself that planted those consciousness seeds in the past, and through electromagnetism and through karma, they have now been returned back to you with interest. And what's going to happen? Either you're going to be aware of that and you're going to be like, okay, this person coming and complaining and criticizing these things is telling me I've been doing that and I need to be way more mindful of that. There you go. You've learned. You're mastering. Or this person now complains, and what do? Well, now you've got to get rid of this complaint, this depressed, deprived feeling. And so you call somebody up and you complain about how that person was complaining to you. And what have you done? You've spread it out even farther, and now in a couple weeks or days or hours or months, it's returned back to you, and then you've put yourself in this pattern, this loop, because you haven't recognized it. Awareness is everything. Because when we gain awareness around the beliefs that we're holding and around the patterns that keep presenting themselves to us, then we can change them. Then we can actually do something about it. Because until we're aware, we can't do anything. We can't do anything about it. So, I want you to become aware of the words that you use in your daily lives. Now, not only the conversations, the vibe that you're putting out, but the actual words. Do you tease people and do you joke, but you use nasty words around it? Do you call people bad names? Because if you do this, I want you to think about the frequency of certain words and how those words actually go out and have an effect. And we might say, oh, we're joking. And yes, things, are intent, but at the same time, being considerate, because words carry vibration. So would you want to call and say something like, call somebody a nasty name? I don't even want to speak, an example on here. But in a joking and oh, I'm kidding, oh, in a whatever, oh, in an endearing way, perhaps. No, that's actually damaging the other person at a core level, at a place that you can't even see. So being very careful with the words that you choose, and what happens when we're then really careful with these words that we choose? Well, we're going to be way more mindful in our life, right? We're going to be harmless then. We're not going to be causing harm to anybody because we're going to think before we speak, rather than just reacting from an ego point of view of, oh, you did this, no, whatever it happens to be. You will be responding from a caring place, from a careful place. So let's say that you're dealing with someone who's extremely difficult to deal with, and they get you worked up because that's what they do best. It's their thing. Well, what is the best way to diffuse a person like this? Slow down your response time. Slow down your response time so that you have time to react in a loving and caring and rational, reasonable way. And so they have time to sit with the response that they give to you. By doing this, by being more thoughtful, you will not be instigating more reactions out of them. In fact, you can sit there and you can think, okay, what is the most loving way that I can get my point across? Now, how it is received is not on you, man. If you put that out and you put it out in a very loving, non-accusatory, but like, hey, I'm feeling this way and whatever way, you have done nothing wrong. How they receive it is up to them. Now, if they receive it and they attack you for it, or they do not like how you've responded, well, now you can learn, and you can be like, okay, I guess they don't like that response, so I'm going to try something different next time. Because you don't want to instigate causing more harsh feelings. and if you are truly trying your very best to communicate with this person in a very loving and caring and gentle way, then you will not be receiving the negative karma that they may incur by their responses back to you, because your intention will be pure. So thinking about intentions and how you do have to pay for karma, whether you know that you have affected somebody or not. But this makes me think of when I used to change all the traffic lights all the time, like just essentially for fun, because it was fun to do. And so why not? I'd be like, green, and I would change all the traffic lights. And I had been doing this for months and months and months and months and months. It was just, why not? I could do it, so why wouldn't I do it? Till one day, the divine told me, well, you have to pay the karma for this. I was like, what? What do you mean? Why would there be any karma for that? And then I sat there and then was shown, well, what if somebody was in a hurry? And because you changed the light, now they had to wait. And it was like, oh, what? Oh, I didn't even consider that because I wasn't in a hurry. I didn't need to be anywhere. I was doing this purely because it was fun. So then was told, oh, you're going to have to pay for the karma for this. And was like, oh man, I didn't even realize that there would be karma to pay. And the very next day was the day that I paid my karma for it, which was hilarious, actually, because I knew that that's what it was. And as I'm pulling off the interstate and going to go drive to the store, and then this, I'm like, which way do I go? Which is the fastest way? Do I go this way with all the cars, or do I go this way with the one car? Well, I picked the one car. Well, that car was going so slow, I probably could have walked faster than the car was driving. And at that point, I realized this is what they meant. This is the karma that I'm having to pay for. And so I just started laughing because it was laughable. And so, it took me however long to get to my destination, a couple minutes or a minute longer than what it would have normally taken, but it allowed me to see that when your intent isn't to harm anybody, that's the kind of karma that you have to get back. So, it's not a big deal. But if you're aware and you're inflicting karma on someone, oh yes, you're going to have to pay for that. So like all of the witches that are out there cursing people, they have hefty karmas coming back to them, also in the form of curses. You cannot curse someone else without cursing yourself and without having it come back to you tenfold. Okay, that's a limiting belief, actually, I'm being told. So, it comes back to you with interest, but limiting it to just 10 is, I'm being told, not necessarily the case. It could be 90, 120-fold. It could be whatever the divine justice sees as fit. So people who are cursing other people and that they're doing this intentionally, yes, the karma that they have to pay will be exactly what they have sent out to people, but with interest. And another thing, because I know I've seen this online, people saying, oh, they'll pay a witch to go and do this karma for them, or to, curse somebody else, and then they think, oh, my hands are clean of it. I had this person do it. You can't skip it. The middleman also does pay, but the sender is the one who will reap what they have sown. So just know this, you are so divinely protected, and not only that, but all of the goodness that you put out is surely returned back to you. So a witch is sitting there putting curses on people, but what do people who love the divine do? People who are in divine alignment, what do? They send light, they send love, they send joy, they send happiness and peace and goodness out to people. And so their cup runneth over with abundance of joy and happiness and love and peace and all of the things that they have sent out. Because that too will surely be returned back to you. Trust me when I say that you cannot escape the karmic retribution that is coming for you, and you are also in 100% control, because of your free will, of that karmic retribution that is returned back to you. And you can send out so much goodness. You can put action of goodness into the world. You can put words of goodness into the world. When you're speaking, you can speak blessings over people, and those blessings will be returned back to you. You can ask for proof and say, hey, divine, I am sending these blessings out to these people, and if it's truly genuine, which, I mean, if you're blessing people, and I'm sure it is, you can send blessings out to people, and you say, I'm sending these out, and you told me that everything comes back to me, so I want you to show me proof that what I have sent out, that these blessings that I am sending out and have been sending out to people, I want proof that it's really going to be returned back to me. And I want that proof within the next 2 to 4 hours, or 2 to 4 days, or 2 to 4 weeks, whatever for you is believable. And you will gain that proof. And what is it going to do? It's going to further cement the actions that you've already taken. And you're going to be like, all right, man, I'm just going to keep blessing people left and right because you showed me the results of that. And I like the results of that. I like being blessed. Just like those people, I'm sure, like receiving the blessings. Whether they know you're sending it to them or not, it really doesn't matter. Energetically and on a soul level, it's being received. And therefore, because you're sending it out like a vibration, like a frequency, because that's what it is and shall return back to you. So you can totally create the lives for yourselves that you want. But if you are holding anger and resentment, or sadness or guilt or shame or blame inside your energy system, I want you to think about the frequency of that and what that feels like when those thoughts come into your mind. What does that level of consciousness vibrate at? Now, because you cannot escape your consciousness, whatever level that you're vibrating at when that is occurring, that is the level that you are creating at. And that frequency affects the matter, the visible matter in your environment and in your life. So this is why Jesus taught and teaches in the Christ letters that it is so important to cleanse your consciousness of all of those lower vibrational frequencies. And I just keep seeing this, so I'm going to say it again, that there's so many of these new age horrid teachings that are telling people that, oh no, it's good, you need to embody this shadow and you need to no, you don't, man. No, you don't. What you need to do is heal those shadow parts inside of you that present themselves to you. Heal them. That is the only work to be done. And by that, I mean get rid of them completely. They're not helping you. They are hopeless. Hopeless. Do they feel like they're filled with hope? They're not. They're filled with hopelessness. And so when you send that out, that frequency of that hopelessness, it will be returned back to you and you will feel like your life is hopeless. So because you don't want that, obviously don't want that, what you send out truly matters. And I'm not only speaking about the words that you're speaking to other people and the actions that you're taking, but if the thoughts that you have in your head are highly critical, and if they were spoken out loud, they would be very damaging. Mentally cleanse them away because they are harming you. They are also harming whatever person you're thinking about, which is where the karma comes in, that it's going to come back to you. Whatever damage you do to that person through anger, through whatever it happens to be, will be returned back to you, whether in this life or another. But the actual thoughts at the moment that you're having them in the right now, because the right now determines everything that plays out in the future. And this is where we plant the seeds, is right now, and right now, and right now, and right now. And so when we're planting seeds, thoughts that are damaging, or thoughts, seeds like not deserving goodness in your life. When you plant these seeds, at some point they come to a harvest. And then you reap the harvest of this, and you think, oh, why is my life this way? Well, because you planted the seeds, man. If you didn't want to grow dandelions, you shouldn't have planted dandelion seeds. I mean, if you were wanting Gerber daisies, then you should have planted Gerber daisy seeds. You can't plant seeds of hate and malice and gossip and spite and criticisms and complaining and condemning and expect to get joy and peace and love and happiness back. Yeah, you planted the wrong seeds, man. I don't know what to tell you. You're going to have to get some new seeds. So when you can cleanse your mind, purely cleanse your mind, and instead of having it be filled with hate and spite, you can fill it up with gold. The frequency of gold, oh, it's beautiful. Give them gold, baby. When somebody gives you something that's low vibe, give them gold back. Why? Because you don't need to match that vibration. You don't need to match their energy. This naturally is usually what happens. But when you become a master, when you are mastering yourself, then that doesn't happen anymore. You don't feel the need to lower yourself or sink yourself down to somebody else's consciousness level, this lower level in order to, relate with them or have some kind of understanding. No, you will then maintain your higher vibration, and that person then has the choice to rise to meet you or to fall away. End of story. So when you really truly realize and just examine your mind and your consciousness and go back and forth what you're thinking about all day long, how do you feel at this moment? Just ask yourself like 15 times today, how do I really feel? How do I feel right now? How did that thought make me feel? How did that thought make me feel? And anytime that a thought makes you feel not good, eradicate it. Eradicate it. And know that it is, first of all, it's not the truth. It might appear to be the truth for you because you planted seeds in the past and now it's coming across and is appearing as the truth, but you can change that here in the future. And as you eradicate these things, as you begin to master these, so the little thoughts that you have, and don't get down on yourself when you have them, be proud of yourself. Oh, I caught another one. Oh, I caught another one. Oh, I caught another one. Excellent. Ooh, there's so many to catch. And as you start to catch these things, pretty soon, your brain starts to rewire itself, and it goes, oh, yeah, no, we don't like that. No, we don't feel good. No, we want to feel good, so we don't like these thoughts because they make us not feel good. They depress our mood. Yeah, we don't like that. And so you will start to change your consciousness level purely because you want happiness and joy and goodness in your life. And you will begin to radiate that into the world, and things that feel like that will be magnetized back to you. You will get the good stuff rather than the bad stuff that you were sending out before, because you've gained awareness and now you know, this is why that's happening. That's why that happened. This is why that happened. I also feel the need to mention this, that we need to forgive people, and if we don't, we got to come back and do it again. So then next time you come back, okay, well, that person has to come here and hurt you again so that you can get the lesson, gain the lesson, and find forgiveness. So this is why it is so important to find forgiveness in this life and, today, to find forgiveness now and in this life, so that we don't have to come back and have that person, here's the agreement, okay, I'm going to come back, okay, I'm going to hurt you. How are we going to do it? I don't know, we'll make it a surprise. We'll make it interesting. I'm going to hurt you in this way so that you can forgive me. We don't want to do that again. And I'm sure if you think of the people who have harmed you or hurt you in your life, you don't want to do that again with them. So this is why it is so important to find forgiveness. I felt the need to say that because I felt like someone was only going to listen to this one recording and they needed to hear that. Maybe it was you. Anyways, I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, I am transitioning over. I'm going to be at the Cosmic Christ Force. Cosmic Christ Force. With my beautiful and divine friend Alara. I do not have much content on there on YouTube, but it's going to be slightly different than what we got going on here. Similar, we're teaching from the Christ letters, but how you will see it will be different because it'll be the two of us together. Anyways, so go and check that out. Don't forget to join that page because I will be on there very shortly. Anyways, love you guys. Hey, don't forget to like and share this with a friend. And you could also subscribe. I would think that is fabulous. And it's a great way to show your support. Love you guys. Thank you for tuning in, my darlings. And I will see you guys next time. Take care.